People are starting to turn their backs on Jay-Z and Roc Nation after it was confirmed that Jay-Z's name was inside of Epstein's files, okay? For some of the same horrendous things that we've already seen from other individuals, okay? Now, not only that, if you look at his Instagram page, you're gonna see tons and tons and tons of comments mocking him, people talking about how they no longer support him after these files. Now, besides the files, we have to look at something even larger, okay? Just how powerful was Jay-Z involving the industry and silencing people and controlling people inside of the industry? Okay, now I do want to say, with all of these videos that we're going to look at, that all of these things are public information and it's all alleged until it's proven 100%. Okay, so let's look. I got to show you all these videos. It's crazy. It just lets you know how crazy the industry is and why it's important to know Jesus Christ, okay, especially for individuals that may be involved in the industry. All right, let's hop in this video, watch it and react to it. Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for the algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys. Let's hop in.
There's no vindication for me because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately: Sean Carter.
So Jaguar Wright did this in 2024, this interview with Piers Morgan, and I remember back then watching this, and even myself and a lot of other people thought that she had some issues with her, right? I mean, the things that she was exposing sounded crazy, right? She always had something about someone that she was talking about, and it sounded crazy. But after the Epstein files came out, now people are starting to drinking all this coffee and saying that she was right about all this. Now, Jaguar Wright, I didn't know this, and a lot of people, didn't know this as well, but she was involved with these individuals, specifically Jay-Z. She sung a lot of songs for Jay-Z. Some of his biggest songs, with the chorus of those songs were sung by Jaguar Wright. And so she was a part of, everything that they had going on. She was around them. Same as how the bodyguard, Gene Deal, was around P. Diddy for a good portion of his career. And so Gene Deal's seen a lot of things that sounded crazy to us, but then when we saw the situation with Cassie and all that, we started to see just how real a lot of this stuff is, right? Okay, so I want to show you Jay-Z's Instagram page real quick, because he has one video up, like I said, and in this video, everybody is turning on him. Okay, like, look, you can even see it. It says Free Tory Lanez, in which I'm going to show you guys a video that's speaking about Tory Lanez and how he broke the industry, and how this could have played a role in Tory Lanez being in jail right now, or in prison on a 10-year bid, okay, and how that is involving Jay-Z, okay. But let me show you this. Look, it just tons of people. Somebody putting scriptures. Everyone's turning against Jay-Z. Nicki Minaj, because of what Nicki Minaj said about Jay-Z. There's these guys right here that have like tons and tons of the same comment speaking on Jay-Z. It's a lot to go through. These guys are flooding the comment section with like the same exact comment. But if you look at his Instagram, he has 263,000 comments, okay? And I would say 99% of that is people that are, turning their backs on Jay-Z. Like I said, people that are speaking out against him and the fact that he was in these files and what the files say about him, which I don't want to show it because I feel like, you can look it up if you want to see exactly what it says. But it's the same horrendous activity that is, spread throughout the entire file. like all the files. It's the same stuff, okay? Children, young people, somebody doing this, drugs involved, same exact stuff, okay? It's crazy. Now I got to show you guys this video about what DJ Vlad just said on Twitter yesterday. Now, what he's about to say in this video, I think DJ Vlad is trolling. I think he is, using satire, and I don't think that this is not a true confession. But a lot of people read this and said, hey, the fact that he even put this out there would indicate that there's some things going on, right? There's some things that are being hidden that we don't know about, or things that are finally being revealed about Jay-Z, okay? But DJ Vlad dropped this. There's mixed feelings about it. Some people think that it's the truth. Some people think it's a lie. I don't believe it, but I do want to show y'all what he said. Let's check it out.
Jay Vlad sent out this post on X and he says, I have a confession. Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. They also paid off all the jury members to convict Tory. And they bribed the judge too. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. She was never shot. The LA police are all on Jay's payroll, and it doesn't stop with LA. But you're not ready to hear that part. That Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who do you think paid him to do that? You already know the answer to that. The three Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal, all paid off by the Rock Mafia. Jay also paid Trump not to pardon Tory, even though it's a state case. Trump can only pardon federal cases. But knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances. I can't keep these lies secret anymore. If this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me.
Like I said, I don't believe that this was a true tweet or whatever you want to call it by DJ Vlad. He actually put this out. Like, I looked it up. It was on his page. But I don't think he was being truthful about this confession. I think it was satire because the tweet before that, he was talking about how, Tory Lanez, how all of the things that are up against Tory Lanez, how people believe that Tory Lanez is innocent and that, everything was being set up. He said that, and then he came out with this a little bit after. That makes me believe that he's just trolling. But at the same time, even though I don't believe that Tory Lanez is innocent, I want to show you guys what Tory Lanez did, okay? And how Tory Lanez talks about how he sold his songs for NFTs, and he essentially cracked the code to the music industry, much like Michael Jackson did in the video I showed you guys, and how the executives started to come at Michael Jackson for cracking the code to the music industry and buying. Michael Jackson bought tons of different records from Sony and essentially owned half of Sony at one point, and they did not like that. And so what happened to Michael Jackson? All of a sudden these things start popping up about how he's doing things with children, how Michael Jackson is this and that, right? And we all know that that's a lie. I'm gonna do a video on that. But essentially that's what happened with, or people are believing that's what took place with Tory Lanez. I'm gonna show you what Tory Lanez did, and then we can look at what Tory Lanez's father said about Jay-Z and Rock Nation. All right, let's check it out.
$1 for the NFTs, right? I sold these shit to my fans for $1. People came, some people bought 20, some people bought 5, some people bought 60. It doesn't matter how much you bought. It was only $1. You spent $60, you bought 60. I need y'all to understand. One of those copies right now is going for 50,000, 60,000, 60,000. Yo, my nigga, and these are sold. They're sold. Go look at the list right now and see how small the sellers list is getting. Y'all understand what the f is going on? Y'all understand I just cracked the industry? Y'all understand I just cracked this? I just cracked this whole crack. It's over. I cracked the whole. It's over. It's over. No more middleman. All y'all artists out there, label, nigga that's telling you, yo, you gotta wait for this day on Spotify and on this. It's over. Y'all gonna get paid, and your fans gonna get paid, and they gonna keep coming to you. Why? Because y'all making money together. This the digital trap house. Welcome. You're welcome.
So he was doing a lot of cussing there, okay, and this is, I think Tory Lanez should definitely, obviously consider Jesus Christ, because maybe he could have avoided a lot of this if he did. I don't know what his faith is in. He looks like he's wearing a Jesus cross, or Jesus piece, showing what Jesus would have looked like. I hate that. But this is beyond that. We're not talking about that today. It's not about Tory Lanez and his faith. It's about what Tory Lanez is saying that he did. He sold NFTs for $1 to his fans. A lot of his fans bought it. It made Tory Lanez millions of dollars, and then people who bought the NFTs from his fans, also his fans also made money off of the NFTs. He cracked the code, taking out the middleman record labels that take tons of money from artists that listen, right? And it put artists in situations where they have to comply to the record labels in order to make money. They have a lifestyle. He's saying he cracked that code, and that he's encouraging other artists to crack this code, ditch the record labels, ditch music executives, and sell their music independently and do what he did. Now, how this has anything to do with Jay-Z, I don't know all of the intricate details, but what I do know is that when Tory Lanez went to prison, his father had something to say about Jay-Z and Roc Nation. Okay, I'm gonna show you that.
You want to know exactly how I'm feeling? I just stood here in this Los Angeles County and witnessed the worst miscarriage of justice that this world has ever seen. You want to know how I feel? I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes. Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it.
Amen. Okay, so allegedly, the reason why his father is saying what he said in this video is because they believe that Jay-Z and Roc Nation has something to do with the conviction of Tory Lanez, in which they said that Tory Lanez ended up, with a booming Megan Thee Stallion in the foot, right? Which we all know about that case, and Tory Lanez said he never did it. And they're saying that Jay-Z and Roc Nation has something to do with this conviction. Now, like I said, this is alleged because it's not proven to be true, but this is the reason why his father was so upset at Jay-Z and Roc Nation. Now, we can say, like, the question is still, why would they want him convicted? And could that be because he cracked the code to the music industry? And was he influencing artists such as Megan Thee Stallion to take this route? Because Megan Thee Stallion was managed by Roc Nation. Okay, now this is where when I'm talking about the power and control that Jay-Z could allegedly have over individuals, this is what I'm talking about. Could he have control in influencing individuals in these cases, in situations where he is, you can't see videos of him, you can't hear him talking about it, but he has power over these situations. Okay, I want to show you guys another video about the CEO of Roc Nation and her daughter and what took place between them, and that this looks like another power move even by the CEO of Roc Nation. Okay, this is crazy. Let me show y'all this. And if you are a regular viewer of my channel, you may be questioning, like, what does this have to do with anything? And I think that this is one, like I said, Jay-Z and Roc Nation is under fire right now. People are turning from them. But not only that, this just proves how disgusting, this just proves how untrustworthy the industry is. That you could be a part of this industry for their personal gain. They can be controlled for their power and influence in the world. Is being proven time and time again to be one of the most results of these situations. But really, we don't see what's going on, and a lot of people idolize these individuals, but not understanding that there's more out there that we don't know about. And if things came to surface, would we still be idolizing individuals in the music industry, acting industry, in the politics? Would we still think highly of them if everything came out into front face? That's why I'm doing these videos, okay? But let's watch what she has to say. This is the daughter of Roc Nation CEO. She spoke to a news channel about a situation that was taking place in her life where it looks like her mom, the Roc Nation CEO, is trying to control things in her life. All right, let's check it out.
Is taking legal action after she says she spent nearly 2 weeks in mental health institutions for no legitimate reason.
She claims in a recently filed lawsuit that it was orchestrated by her own mother and others who should have protected her failed her.
NBC6 investigative reporter Amy Viteri has her story.
No, you cannot. Why? You're being Baker active.
Body camera video shows the moments Broward deputies encouraged Demore Hadley to get into this pickup truck with people she says she didn't know.
I can't ride with you. You guys take me?
You're gonna be in handcuffs, so dog's not gonna be able to
I don't
come?
want to be in handcuffs.
Okay.
Demore says they took her to a hospital for a mental health evaluation after this doctor signed paperwork saying she was a risk to herself.
What he told me was, we received a call from your family that you tried to OD the night before.
A doctor she says she'd never met before. And according to Demore, it's her own mother who's behind it. In this lawsuit, she claims her mother, Desiree Perez, used unlawful means to have Demore falsely detained under Florida's Baker Act and Marchman Act.
So she's the CEO of Rock Nation, a company that she owns along with Sean Carter, the famous rapper Jay-Z.
The complaint alleges a conspiracy, saying Perez used her money, power, and influence to tear apart Demore and her husband, Javon Hadley, and created an enterprise of individuals to effectuate her plot.
To essentially try to separate me from my husband and to falsely accuse him of domestic violence.
Perez has repeatedly denied these allegations in court filings.
This makes me question, what does her husband know, right? Why are they trying to separate Rock Nation's CEO, founder, partnership with Jay-Z? Why are they trying to separate the daughter from the husband? Why would they do that? What does he know, right? What has he seen? That comes to my mind. I don't know.
A month before Demore filed her complaint, we found her mother filed her own lawsuit against Demore's husband, Javon. Citing evidence, Perez says he has abused her daughter for years, something the couple has denied in court records. In that lawsuit, Desiree Perez says she moved to Baker Act her daughter, fearing she was at risk of suicide and abusing prescription drugs.
I haven't seen anything in my entire 20 years of practicing law that it is so clear that someone did something wrong.
Attorney Hilton Napoleon is representing Demore in the lawsuit, which claims Perez harassed the couple for years, including making unfounded claims to get Javon arrested on multiple occasions for battery and domestic violence, charges prosecutors did not pursue.
The state attorney's office wrote a 11-page scathing closeout memoranda, which basically said that her mother made false allegations to the police.
In this closeout memo, a prosecutor with the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office cites Demore's lack of cooperation and raises concerns about some of the evidence and how it was obtained. The prosecutor also wrote Demore was wrongfully Baker Acted last year, something her mother's attorney disputes in this letter, challenging many of the memo's other conclusions.
I have 3 different collateral sources of information that say that she's been acting psychotic, that she threatened to overdose yesterday.
Demore's lawsuit alleges her mother conspired with prominent psychiatrist Dr. Daniel Bober, seen here in body camera video, and others to have Demore committed for a mental health evaluation. Bober cites supporting evidence from her family and diagnosed Demore with an unspecified psychosis. He ordered she be taken to Memorial Regional Hospital, where he is chief of psychiatry, and where results from drug tests taken upon admission were negative, according to records Demore shared with us.
They told me your tox screens came out negative, and I go, I know. I don't do drugs.
In a statement, Dr. Bober's attorney said Demore was placed under the Baker Act for 38 hours due to the potential risk of imminent harm she posed to herself, adding failing to take appropriate action would have been a breach of Dr. Bober's ethical and professional obligations. While Demore was at Memorial, her mother further petitioned to have her transported to a different facility under Florida's Marchman Act, claiming again in court records that Demore suffered from severe drug abuse. A judge granted that petition.
They ran the test. They knew that she had no drugs in her system, that she was not abusing drugs. And the fact that you can't do anything about it is scary.
That's crazy, man.
This is the most relaxing screw game, designed for seniors. No annoying ads. No Wi-Fi needed.
Clean as a whistle. Still granted to go into psychiatric hospitals. Now, a question would be, why do they want her there? What does she know? Or what did she know? Or what was she going to say that would have caused this to take place? Is this a form or method of controlling someone and silencing them? I don't know, man. This is crazy.
Demore was sent to this treatment center in Deerfield Beach, where Dr. Bober serves as medical director.
We're the people that are supposed to protect me from this happening.
According to her lawsuit, Demore requested a hair follicle test at that facility called Life Skills, which detects drug use for at least the past 3 months, and which showed no drugs had been in Demore. Demore was held at Life Skills until April 8th. She shared discharge paperwork that lists a diagnosis of persistent depressive disorder, which she disputes. No medication was prescribed. Court records show Demore was able to leave that day after her mother voluntarily dismissed the case. But Demore says the damage has been done, and she feels a system designed to keep people safe failed to protect her.
Money, influence, and power should not be something that's used, right, or abused to hurt innocent people.
Perez has filed a motion to dismiss Demore's complaint, asserting that the Baker Act and other legal proceedings she has undertaken were rooted in legitimate concern for her daughter's safety.
All right, so getting back on to Jay-Z, this is a video of Nicki Minaj speaking out on Jay-Z. Okay, I am torn between how to feel about Nicki, because on one end, I see her exposing some industry darkness, but then on the other end, I don't know why she's doing it. On the other end, I don't know what side she's really on. I don't know why all of a sudden she's so conservative, pro-Trump, and exposing this darkness. My question is, what's her motive? Why is she doing it? But she is doing it. And this is already known, but I want to show y'all this video because this is someone else who spoke out against Jay-Z and what she believes he's been doing. Okay, let's check it out.
So Jay-Z is getting exposed for allegedly being a part of the Illuminati and being with some very young girls. By who, you may ask? Nicki Minaj. Yes, so on the night of the Grammys, Nicki Minaj decides to go public on Twitter and just let loose everything that she's known for these past few years about like A-list celebrities and powerful people. And first she exposed Jay-Z, and she says there's way more people she's about to expose. But basically in these photos, you could see Jay-Z is publicly with very much younger girls. Nicki Minaj says that this happened today, people would bury him, which is true. And then Nicki goes on to say that they tried to silence her. She was trying to make a documentary. She was trying to speak on the abuse that she endured while she was in the music industry dealing with powerful people. And they tried to silence her. They tried to stop her from dropping music because they thought that she would need help eventually and come crawling back to them for support and money. Not only that, and this is the weird part, because if she's referring to the files, Trump was in there too. But she said, if you vote Democrat, you will perish. She says, you will perish. What are we even talking about? But
now, I don't know about the Democrat thing. I don't believe that everyone that votes Democrat are evil. I think there's evil in both sides, as we have already seen. Like, no side is perfect, right? No side is the good side. Both sides have evil people within them. That's why we gotta trust in Jesus Christ. That's why we gotta put faith in God. Because if we put our faith in anyone else, we're going to be deceived, and we're going to be lied to, and you're not going to come out of that one time. But if you put your faith in God and say, Lord, you show us who you want us to vote for. Lord, you show us where to go. Your faith is ultimately not into politicians or even, people in the music industry, acting or whatever, whoever you like. Your faith is not in them because your faith is in God. And so if they do not align with God and his morals, then you don't support them. But when you put your faith in them, then you become an idol. They become an idol of yours, and then now you're supporting them instead of following God. Okay, this is the last video I want to show y'all before we look at some Bible verses, because TMZ, one of the biggest news sources out there, right? They're always posting about people, always posting about the most current things happening in the world. And all of a sudden, when the Epstein files dropped, they were silent. They did not post about the Epstein files. They didn't post about anyone in them. Okay? It's kind of weird. And a lot of people understood this and seen this, that this is sketchy. Now, I don't understand why we still support people that, if you're the biggest news source, one of the biggest news sources on the internet, but you don't post about the files that is huge right now. Right? And so why do we support people that do that? But let me show you guys what he had to say, because I thought he said some pretty good things about the fact that they are silent about these files.
In more Epstein files news, TMZ found that Harvey Levin has been named in the document. Described as a good friend who could help run a global PR effort to defend convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein and smear his victims and accusers. Now, this would make a lot of sense when you think about how, you know, in the past, TMZ has reported on, you know, Jeffrey Epstein and the potential releasing of Epstein files. But ever since the files have been released, TMZ has stayed very quiet, which tells me they probably didn't have any confidence that the files were even going to be released. That's why they felt comfortable, you know, keeping people on the edge about it. Yeah, we can make all these posts and make it seem like, you know, we care, make it seem like, you know, we want the files just as much as everybody else, because deep down we feel like they're not going to come out anyway. So we might as well cover our own behinds and make it seem like we're on the outside looking in just like everybody else, when the whole time our hands are dirty too. As the email says right here, from Mike Citrick to Jeffrey Epstein, Wednesday, March 9th, 2011, tried to call you. Harvey Levin, who runs TMZ, is a good friend. They haven't reported on this at all, but I might be able to get him to do something on the Duchess and her backpedaling. Epstein hit back and said, okay, with leaking to British press, but think we need to get a statement out. So yeah, it was all up in the files, running plays, you know what I'm saying? They like, hey, I know somebody, Harvey Levin, runs TMZ, good buddy of mine. Whatever it is we dealing with or going through, or you know what I'm saying, there's potential of what we got going on being blown up. Let's get the story to him. Let's have him run a PR play, and we cool. So granted, this isn't saying that Harvey Levin participated in, you know, the activities going on Epstein Island, but this does say that he potentially protected what was going on Epstein Island, which to me is just as worse. Yeah, you may not go to the island and participate, but you're well aware of what's going on that island. You know it's wrong, and when they call on you to, you know, to keep the eyes away from them, you participate, you offer your services. And as of right now, TMZ has yet to report on the releasing of the Epstein files.
So that's, you know, this guy.
This is where we're at with all these Epstein files. You had Howard Lutnick, right? Have you guys been following this? Yes or no? You have the United States Secretary of Commerce.
As the person that's going to run some PR for them, then I think that's insane. I think that, and it would make sense as to why his name, or why he hasn't, why the company hasn't done any videos on the files. It would make sense, because maybe there's some relationships within these files. Maybe there's some relationships within the individuals in these files and individuals in TMZ. That would just make sense. I'm not saying there is, but that's what it's looking like, because of the fact that they haven't reported on it, but they report on everything else. Every single thing that takes place, TMZ is going to report on it, but the files, they're silent. That's sketchy. Okay, I want to show you this verse, 1 Timothy 5, okay? And this is not only just for, you know, what we're seeing in the industry right now, but it's also for us as well. It's for us as well. It lets you know that be wise about what you do. Be wise about what you choose to participate in, because it could come back to haunt you, literally. It says, the sins of some are obvious, reaching the place of judgment ahead of them. So we see the sins of some. We see, you know, some people acting out, doing certain things, their behaviors, and we see it live, and we're saying, they're in this stuff, right? They are evil. They're doing this. We can clearly see them doing wrong. But it says, the sins of others trail behind them. And so, some people, we may think, have done good things to get what they have. Some people we may say are good people. They haven't done anything wrong. They're not, we haven't seen them. But then, all of a sudden, you start seeing things catch up. All of a sudden, their names start being brought up in situations. And then you say, oh, wow, I did not know that that person could have been involved in this, right? Who would have knew? And that's why it's wise for us to be accountable of ourselves and the things that we do and the things that we participate in, so that sins don't come trailing behind us. And then also, if you do something, repent of it and be accountable, so that people don't find out who you are in the future, that you were never who you said you were. It says, in the same way, good deeds are obvious, and even those that are not obvious cannot remain hidden forever. So, in the same way, doing good deeds, people can see that. People can see the good things that you do, right? They can see that the lifestyle that you live, if it's honorable, and these things cannot remain hidden forever. And so I think that is a confirmation of that. You know, a lot of times for people that do good things, when you are being selfless, when you are being charitable, you may not get the reward that same day. You may not get the congratulations for the hard work that you put in, but it's not going to remain hidden forever. It could pop up later on in life. People could start, yeah, I remember this dude did this, right? Who is it? Cat Williams. A lot of people have been saying, Cat Williams gave me this amount of cash for no reason. Cat Williams bought this car for me when I needed one. Cat Williams helped me in my career. And is Cat Williams a man of God? Is he following the Bible? I don't know. But a lot of people think highly of Cat Williams because of the things that he's done. Cat Williams also called out a lot of the crazy mess that was taking place, right? He spoke about this stuff before it became very popular now. He was one of the leading people that said it's some stuff going on, especially involving Diddy, right? And his good deeds did not remain hidden because people remembered the good things that he did and they spoke about it in front of people. And now we say, oh, Cat Williams is a good dude. He's a solid dude. Why? Because of the people that spoke about the good deeds that he's done. And so this is a lesson in avoiding putting yourself in a position to where your sins are going to trail behind you and catch up later in life, but also that the good things that you do will not remain hidden forever. Even if it remains hidden in this life, it won't remain hidden in heaven, right? Because Jesus talks about us doing things for the treasures in heaven, and that our reward may not be here on this earth. Our reward may be in heaven, right? Or it will be in heaven. And if you live by the rewards of this earth, that's all you're going to get is those rewards. But if you live for rewards in heaven, you're saving up treasures that cannot be broken, that cannot turn to rust, that people can't come and steal. And so it's good to do good deeds, and it's also good to make sure that you are not doing things that are going to catch up to you in the future. All right, look, man, let me know how you guys feel about this video in the comment section, okay? If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and hit the post notification bell so you do not miss another video. My name's Aaron Page. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Until next time, I'm out.
He was on an interview.
Ladies loving that. Perfect. Let's get the lucky man in here, huh?
Hell. Some days are just too important for a trashy suit. Rooms rent for free at thebblacktouch.com.
Nigerian Christians slaughtered as world looks away.
There's a
Whatever the moment, make it a cocktail. On the rocks, bartender created cocktails.
Cavities on 1-9.
Careers aren't one size fits all.
Hey, hand me that dough nailer. Hello?
And finding the right job
Scalpel.
is all about finding the right fit. Brightbound helps students discover their strengths.
Hey, Mark.
Right.
I can't keep track of all my subscriptions, but my BFF Experian can and could help me easily cancel the ones I don't need. Get the Experian app now.
And then one day it was a little bit difficult to actually get the prescription painkillers.
don't know how to say it. The way these elites have a way
What was hygiene
and
really
working
like in the time of Jesus?
the way these elites have a way in working together to hide their
I know you guys.
darkness. Wait, hold on.